mean, it's literally the reason why I always say that hockey is scary is because you're fucking flying around with knives on your feet.
Fucking Baraka-ass feet.
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college and were able to sidestep mountains of unnecessary debt. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Well, grab your friends. Let's listen together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast. Welcome to Get Dumped On, an Infodump podcast. This is the podcast where four friends get together, we share a little knowledge, we share a little laughs. Sometimes we share disagreements, but that's okay. My name is Ash. We are joined here today, as always, with Bo. Say hi, Bo.
Hey, it's me, Bo. Bowen here. Hey, I'm like a plane. I'm a Boeing 575, whatever they're called.
Zoom in
Oh, watch out!
over to say
I'm
hey
crashing.
to Zach. Say hey, Zach.
Before, I thought I heard you say share a little ass.
I didn't say that,
Okay.
but if you... We can
That's all I
do
had.
that later. We don't have to talk about that on the podcast.
Whoa.
And then-
Hey, this is a Christian show.
It is absolutely not. And then jumping on us today is the ever elusive Upper Decker. So rare. It barely ever happens with Andrew. Tell us what we're doing today, Andrew.
That's my legal last name is Andrew.
Andrew.
Wow.
It's pretty great.
Jewish.
It's
There's
Jewish.
going to be
It's
emojis on
Jewish.
your grave.
As always, open your mouth, bitches. Get ready for that upper deck. It's
yeah,
coming.
baby. I'm ready.
You guys have any
Get it
guesses
to me.
on what this is about?
Zero clue. You have told us nothing.
It's gonna be fucking food again, isn't it? God damn, it's Halloween candy, isn't it? You son of a bitch.
No, it's not food. I'm trying to get us out of our food era. We are, again, like Zach said, we were in the nautical era. We're in the food era. So
I'll try and bring us back into the nautical era. This is going to be an all nautical podcast.
It's fine. Today, we're actually going to be doing a little step back, and this is going to be hockey part 2.
Wow.
I
knew
have
you'd
some.
be able to do a hockey one again.
It's the spooky time of year, and this year we're going to be focusing. This episode, we're going to be focusing on hockey injuries.
Ooh.
I have 3 of them for you that are terrible, but also do inspire at the end. So I'm trying to keep a theme of yeah, they were bad, but also they led to something good.
Okay.
But some of them are pretty terrible. Like the worst thing ever. And also there are hockey injuries that took place during hockey because of hockey, not like somebody just passing out because they skated too hard. Or there's a guy on Dallas whose heart stopped when he was sitting on the bench,
my
but that
God.
was because he had a heart condition. I'm not going to cover stuff like that. He's fine. He actually, the trainers got him back. His name is Rich Peverly. The trainers, he passed out. They immediately got to him. They got him to a hospital immediately, and he's actually okay. He did have to retire, but
Wow.
he does still work with the club as I think like a trainer or
Wow.
something,
And
which is pretty great.
and so
'cause
this
I'm
isn't
glad he's
like
okay.
when Madison Bumgarner
Mhm.
crashed a quad and broke his collarbone and couldn't pitch.
No, yeah, things that took place during hockey games because of hockey stuff.
Or was bull riding too under a fake name as well.
I heard about that. That's crazy to think that it's like a professional athlete would do that. Like your whole job is to be good with your body. Why would you do that? Then again, if you're a professional athlete, nothing can hurt you and you're a millionaire, so whatever.
Yeah, when you're out there and have thousands and thousands of people cheering at you every night, it's got to goof up.
Well,
your
and it's like
perception
you've been
of the
playing
world at least
competitive
a little
sports
bit.
I can
since
do
you were a teen, and you
anything.
probably played in college and you were probably very dedicated. Then you got drafted right out of college, so immediately into the MLB where you're just like training all the time. Never got a chance to do stupid stuff like ride bulls and drive quads.
You're right.
Mhm.
That's 100%. And I know that some people who didn't know anything about hockey, who listened to the last hockey episode that I did, said that it was actually really good. So I'm hoping this one is as good as the last one.
Well, I mean, you're pretty good at this, so I'm sure it will be.
Yeah,
He's just jealous.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
I am. That's why I've only done one.
And it was great.
But I gave you so much encouragement over the past week. I want you to do another
True.
one.
I decided this is my final episode. Actually, I'm retiring.
Retiring Bo. That's good. That's good. You got to go out on top.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so hockey has always been a sport of electrifying speed, amazing goals, but because of that speed, is devastating injuries happen, and they happen quite often.
And you
So
have
this
knives on
episode-
your feet.
You have knives on your feet, and you're skating as
That's
fast
a
as
really good
humanly
point. And a club
possible,
in your
and you're
hand.
smashing into people as fast as you possibly can. into some boards that have very little give and they hurt a lot. I can tell you that because that happens to me all the time.
Hmm.
And trigger warning in this episode, if you're squeamish, I'm sorry. I'll let you know when the worst one, it's the last one. It's the worst one. I will tell you if you're squeamish, it's pretty bad.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
So on ice injuries, they usually come out of virtually nowhere. Sometimes they just happen and it's a regular play, but something goes terribly, terribly wrong. I do have a story about my friend Tibor. Me and my friends, we went out for just a random, they call them stick and shoots or puck time, where you just go out with your gear and everyone just goes and plays around. And it usually turns into a pickup game.
So my friend, kind of like the hockey equivalent of a driving range.
Kind of, yeah. You pay $10, you go out there, they have like free ice for 2 hours, go have fun. It usually turns into a pickup game.
Puck time with the boys?
With the boys, for the boys. My friend Tibor came with us once. It was his first time on ice hockey. He knew how to skate, but it was first time actually like playing ice hockey because he played roller hockey for a long time. His first shift, he jumps over the boards, skates to the corner, falls over, broken leg immediately. Shit just happens.
I have a question. Has Tibor ever had a glass of milk in his life?
I hope so, but maybe not.
He's actually lactose intolerant, so that's why.
That's racist. That's racist for you to ask that question. But with hockey, I mean, I've hurt myself a million times. My knees are completely messed up. I have taken slap shots to the face. I have
the weirdest knees I've ever seen.
They
Sounds
are
like you
so
played
weird.
professional. Are you professional?
I played like almost semi-pro for a little bit. It was pretty good. I broke one of my fingers. It was like, take your finger, point it out, and then imagine taking a hammer and smashing the end of it. That's what happened to my finger. I finished the game, and I got a bunch of goals.
I've done that too.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
And I kept playing, even though my doctor told me to stop, and I got a bunch of goals, and we won the championship. So, joke's on you, doctor.
Again, I've been saying this forever.
Medicine is garbage.
Doctors don't know what they're talking about. They give you shit you don't need. Live your life, man. Saying that for years.
My finger's a little wonky
really like a man
now,
who doesn't go to the doctor.
Also, I
don't trust you.
I tore 2 tendons in both tendons in my left wrist, which that one hurt a lot. I actually had to stop playing for that one. But hockey, it just sort of happens. Like it's a very tough sport. However, hockey players always seem to get back up. Call it being tough, call it pride, call it stupidity, but it just, I don't know what, it's the adrenaline. You just get up and you keep playing. Another story, I was on a breakaway once and I got tripped from behind. And the guy who tripped me, we ended up grabbing each other, and it's like we were sliding to the corner as fast as possible. So we grabbed onto each other because we're in this together. We smashed into the boards. I didn't realize a second defenseman came in and cleared the puck out of the center of the ice towards us. The referee came over right after we smashed into the boards, and we were like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. Referee comes over and he looks at me. He goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally. I'm fine. We just hit the boards." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "That's weird." So I skated away and I finished my shift. As I was skating, I was like, wow, I'm sweating a lot. I feel wet. And I took my glove. I had a white glove and I just, brushed my face with it. It was all blood. The guy who cleared the puck ended up hitting me in the forehead with the puck and I didn't even realize it.
Ouch. How thick is your skull, dog?
It's pretty thick. You gotta
watch where you're skating, man.
And it was a big gash too. So I didn't want to get off the ice. So I pulled my helmet down over it and it swelled up to where it just like sealed my helmet onto my head. So I finished the game. And I looked like a caveman after that for a few weeks because it was just so puffy. It was funny.
And head wounds bleed like a motherfucker.
It was going. Oh, yeah. But that's the story of like hockey players. You just go. It doesn't make any sense. Like if you're hurt, stop. But we don't. It's the dumbest thing in the world. So my first story has to do with one of those things where somebody got hurt and you just keep going. There's a man in the 2013 NHL playoffs for the Boston Bruins. They were playing the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Eastern Conference final. If you won this, you go to the finals, which is everything for hockey players, right? Going as hard as possible. Every second counts. Gregory Campbell. This happened in Game 3. The Bruins took a penalty, which means, for those who don't watch hockey, you are down a man for at least 2 minutes. Now, in the playoffs, every single second counts. You don't want to give anyone a goal. And penalty killers on hockey teams, I always say they're another breed of human. because they put their bodies on the line, and they really shouldn't have to, but they just do it. Like there's a goalie
You said
there.
they're called penalty killers?
Yeah, so penalty killers, there's guys in the team who are elite scorers, so they usually won't put them on the penalty kill just in case, you get hit with a shot or something.
Uh-huh.
But there's other guys, they're just grinders. And yeah, they score and they do, normal hockey stuff, but also their job is to kill penalties. So if there's 5 guys on the other team and they're constantly shooting against your 4 guys, their job is to jump in front of pucks and help the goalie, which they really shouldn't, because the goalie's there for a reason. But again, hockey's weird. Some dudes just jump in front of stuff, especially with pucks going 100 miles an hour. The Bruins were facing the Pittsburgh Penguins in crucial Game 3. It was June 5th, 2013. The game was tied 0-0. Campbell was on the ice during the penalty kill, and he's known for being just one of the toughest guys on the team at this point.
He never met me.
That's true. He never met Bo.
On ice. Off ice, I'm a sweetheart.
Bo, I
on
have
ice.
seen you skate,
Ooh.
and it's hilarious.
And and I was angry while doing it.
It was so. Bo sent a video once when he went skating, and he was literally standing still with his arms out, and he was just spinning in circles, and he couldn't figure out
I couldn't control it. I just kept going. I accepted my fate of spinning in circles for the rest of my life.
Seems like you need to be a figure skater.
It's where I was gonna die.
You're trying to figure out the way the Earth was spinning.
If I just follow the Earth rotation, I might be able to escape.
That's funny.
In the northern hemisphere, do you spin in one direction, and in the southern if we moved you to the southern hemisphere, would you switch directions?
Yes.
No.
Because of the Coriolis
It's like toilets.
effect.
It's like toilets. Yeah.
I know.
So the Penguins, Evgeny Malkin, he wound up for a slap shot. Now, Evgeny Malkin is an elite goal scorer, and that dude shoots it really, really, really hard. He fired a shot, and it hit Campbell's right leg just above the ankle.
Ow.
Yeah, ouchie time. Now, there are pads there, but they're not that thick. Like, everything hurts. Even if, there's pads everywhere on your body. But when you get hit with something, you feel it, and it hurts, regardless of how fast it's going. Because, there's pads, but they're not bulletproof pads, if that makes any sense.
Uh-huh.
And in hockey, it's usually up to the refs and the players to together to stop play if someone's injured. If someone gets really hurt immediately, everyone knows, stop. Like if somebody gets hit in the face with a shot, we're stopping play. But if the player gets hurt and shows signs that they're quote, quote, well enough to continue, the refs will allow the play to continue until pretty much the person keels over. Again, hockey players are tough and stupid. So Campbell gets hit in the leg. Despite the excruciating pain that he was clearly in, Campbell, again, was known for his gritty style of play. He refused to leave the ice. He got up on one leg, was hobbling, and was still killing the penalty. He stayed on the ice for an entire minute after that, killed off the penalty. During that time, he was literally skating on one foot, just shuffling his body so he could move around, and they killed the penalty. Eventually, play was stopped. He was helped off the ice by his teammates and medical staff, and he ended up leaving the game after that. An X-ray after the game revealed that Campbell suffered a broken fibula as a result of the block shot.
Oh.
This man blocked a shot and continued playing for an entire minute, blocking shots.
That kind of reminds me of when I broke my femur and I tried to stand up. Although I wasn't able to do anything, I was just trying to stand up and thought that my knee was hurting, but actually it was my femur was broken.
I think he knew that something was up because he didn't put any weight on that one leg, but he still was able to pop up on. Again, you have a knife on your foot, and he still had the balance to stand up and do shit.
That's the actions of a man who doesn't know how to do anything besides skate around.
And he did it. He absolutely did it.
Eat, breathe, skate. My motto.
Do you guys
I wish
know
I had that sort of
what your
singular
fibula
focus.
is?
It's your leg bone, right above the ankle.
It's not your shin bone, but it's a very skinny bone that lives right next to your shins on the outsides of your legs. It's a real long and skinny bone that goes from your knee to your ankle.
And that motherfucker got it broke.
I just got double dumped on.
Double dump. Tying back to the body episode last time, which I missed, which I do have some notes on, but I'll save those for later.
Just tell him now. Might as well.
No.
Huh? You want to? Yeah.
Let me finish this. Let me finish the story first. So yeah, he broke his fibula. his incredible display of courage and sacrifice in finishing his shift despite having a very severe injury, it became a symbol of the dedication and toughness displayed by hockey players. The Bruins went on to win that game 2-1 in double overtime and eventually advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they unfortunately were defeated by the Chicago Blackhawks. But Campbell's huge display of determination and selflessness, especially in the face of a huge painful injury,
really inspires the team.
It really did. It still to this day remains a huge legendary moment in the NHL.
You
and
guys
people talk
call
about it all the time.
Having a shift on the ice? Is that like when it's your turn to play and you play? It's called your shift.
Yeah,
They take an old tiny punch card when they're ready to go in.
Right, got a clock in for my shift.
I've literally never thought about that. That's exactly what it's called, though. Just it's your shift. Get on there.
I just imagine the hockey player in the dugout or whatever it's called, looking at his wife who's like, "It's the job," and then he
the bench
slides out of the bench, clocks in and out.
They probably call it that because of like something in the past too. Hockey has a lot of old timey terms because it's been around for over 100 years. So that's actually hilarious to think about. I've never thought about why that term is used. That's just always the term that's used. So Brad Marchand, who still plays with the team today, he was actually named this year's captain for the first time, which is pretty great for him. He's also known as the Rat because he plays like an asshole. Different story. He's great.
Fucking rat.
And
he's great.
And he enjoys cheese. Lots of cheese.
Oh gosh, cheese is so good.
I love this man so much. Every time he plays, he's just a fucking dick. And if he's on your team, you love him. But if he's on the other team, he's constantly doing things that aren't illegal and aren't like hurting your players, but he's just being an asshole. Like the other day, there's this new kid in the league. His name is Connor Bedard. He's 18. He's the talk of the town. Everyone thinks he's going to be the next big thing. Marchand was they were playing. No, we'll talk about that. Marchand was playing against him. Marchand was going to his bench and he hooked his stick around Bedard and started skating to his own bench, eventually almost pulling Bedard onto the bench, pretending like he wasn't doing that, and then tried to kidnap this person onto his bench. It was so funny.
What the hell?
He's an asshole. I love this guy. But Marchand at the time said, quote, "The fact that he took the shot and he couldn't even move, he was still trying to play and get in the lane. He did a great job. We really wanted to play for him, and it just shows his character. He's always battling. He's always doing whatever he has to do, and he's been a huge player for the playoffs so far. So he inspired the team to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. And still, again, it's talked to this day, the guy who broke his leg and finished a shift in the NHL.
Incredible.
Pretty cool. Now, question for you guys.
Yeah.
Would you do this?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't play hockey in the first place.
I wouldn't be a hockey man in the first place.
Well, that depends. That depends. Am I on the ice? Then yes. Again, you don't want to see me on the ice.
Let me reframe the question. Boy. You're very good at hockey and you make a lot of money doing it, and you feel half as much less pain as a normal man.
Oh, that I'm doing it. I'm on the ice.
That, or what are you the best at?
Sleeping.
I'm so
if you
good
broke your leg during sleeping,
I just keep on going.
Continue?
I just keep on going.
See, that's the spirit. That's the spirit right there. We've all got a little hockey in us, And
I'd ignore the pain and I'd just keep on sleeping.
I love it. It's great. That's fantastic. So my next story, this one's kind of a doozy. But
wait, why do you hate our last podcast? Why do you hate Justin on our last podcast?
No, Justin was great. Justin did a great job.
What did you hate Justin so much?
He did get the Instagram wrong and nobody corrected him. He said the Instagram was Get Dumped on Podcast, which it's Get Dumped on Pod, and you guys just let it happen, which
I don't know the Instagram title.
Very upset with you guys on that one.
Here's the thing. Shut up.
I also don't like that when you guys were talking about pooping so hard that you pass out, nobody like made a reference to like seat belts on toilets or something, that like those people have to like latch themselves in so they don't fall over and crack their heads or something. There was no safety protocols that you guys threw out, which made me very upset.
I'm sorry. I don't tend to have OSHA on the mind.
And you guys know about my fucked up knees. And you didn't talk about my fucked up knees on the podcast when you guys were talking about your rock.
You weren't there. We're going to talk about your private medical information without you.
You talked about me so much.
It's a HIPAA violation.
Well, yeah, but not like
you said I died. That's a HIPAA violation.
I also said a lot of things about you.
You did.
As far as I knew, you were dead. As far as I knew, you were dead. You had not responded to any of our messages by the time
you literally said before we started recording today, too, that you're dying.
Yeah.
I was just so tired.
At any moment, I feel like you're going to die, and I'm already prepared for it.
Oh,
I'm already.
I love that.
I already.
That's really
Yeah,
sweet.
but I don't need to mourn for you because I already did. Now
I love that.
like, oh,
But real quick, before I move on to my next story,
yeah.
I'm dead. And I
Huh?
chose you to do my eulogy. Go.
Oh, well, see, Andrew. Some call him a friend. Some call him petty. I call him both. Lived how you want to do. Terribly. Always so sleepy. Until finally he decided to choose the big sleep of them all. Death. Now he can go out on his own terms. A sleepy boy and a ghost.
I'm a ghost now.
The end.
Bo, that was beautiful.
Thank
you. When I die, which will probably be soon, I want you to do that.
Okay, will your wife be fine with that?
I think she'll be okay with it.
Okay.
And then you have
She'll
to
be
marry
too
her
busy.
and pretend to be me. Like change your name.
Hey,
Grow a
it's
beard.
me. I'm Andrew. Hey,
Play
babe,
hockey.
I'm gonna go play some hockey.
Yeah.
See?
You
As
have
a
to
whole
pull
thing.
your kneecaps right off.
Yeah. You got to move your kneecaps to weird locations on your body.
Okay.
Spoiler alert for everyone who's listening now. My kneecaps are in weird spots because of hockey.
It's like someone put googly eyes on your legs.
Or I went to my physical therapist and he laughed at me. My physical therapist took one look at my knees and went, "Huh."
How are you walking?
Like, oh, those are fucked up. I'm like, yeah, I know. Speaking of fucked up, though,
Happens.
my next story. What do you think is like the worst thing that could happen to you on the ice, injury wise? Like, what would
Getting
you
your
like,
throat
personally?
slit by
Like, what
somebody's
would you hate?
skates.
Femoral
Well,
artery
blade-
gets cut and I bleed out in seconds before anyone can save me.
Okay,
Blade to throat, just fucking, or decapitation. Like, you know
yeah.
that movie Blades of
decapitation.
Glory?
Yeah,
Oh,
Blades
no,
of Glory?
no.
When he did that trick.
You know what I think would be even worse? Would be getting hit in the teeth with a skate.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Oh,
that's not
my
too bad.
dick getting cut off.
I've been hit in the face.
Honestly,
with
I
pucks.
think I'd rather get my dick cut off than get a skate to the tooth.
It's
No,
not
I
too
need
bad
this
because
thing.
like the teeth
You
just
don't
fall
need your
out
dick
sometimes.
anymore. You've got 2 kids.
Ugh.
Yeah, like I'd rather have my dick than teeth. Like I've personal opinion.
I don't know. Mouth
But
stuff
if you
freaks
get your
me
dick
out.
cut off, it's ice, and so it'll stay on ice, and then they can just put it back on.
That's
Oh my
why
God,
hockey is
what
great.
a good point.
That's why it's a great sport.
I'm just laying on the ice, like trying to protect my other two. Like, gotta keep it cold. Gotta keep it cold. Don't look at me.
Put it on ice. Oh wait, it already is. Okay, cool.
Oh wait, it already is. That's fast. Oh my god.
Anyway, so on March 8th, 2011, during a game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, there's a player named Max Pacioretty. He was playing for the Canadiens, and he was involved in one of the most devastating collisions in the NHL at the time with Zdeno Chara. Zdeno
That's a name.
Chara
That's really a
played-
name you could chew on.
Yeah, Zdeno Chara, he played
That's
for
a
the
rat
Bruins
name.
for a really long time. Actually, I'm going to look this up real quick. I want to be sure I tell you the right
oh my god,
information,
he
because when I
didn't-
tell you
he didn't
this,
prepare. Oh my god.
My god.
Wow.
He's
No,
oh my god, he's doing
know-
live research.
I know
oh my
a lot about
God.
this man, but I really want to know. Okay, without skates, this man is 6'9".
Oh, that's too tall. You got a
That's a
long
tall man.
way to go down.
Is huge. He is from Slovakia.
Yo.
He is huge. And he's a
Huge.
second-degree black belt. So if people ever tried to fight them, if you ever want to laugh, go on YouTube and type in Zdeno Chara fights. He literally throws people around like they're fucking toddlers. It's hilarious.
Is it just like he's got the hand on the top of the head and they're swinging wildly at him?
So in hockey,
Oh my
what it
god,
is-
he's huge.
in hockey fights, you grab the jersey like right around their neck, and you use that hand to give them little tiny shots in the chin, and then use your free hand to pummel them mercilessly. What he does is he grabs them right there, like if you do that right now, like grab your own shirt right at your neck. He would grab them and just throw them around with that hand, and then also punch them.
Jesus.
It's fucking hilarious. But
I
this
don't want to
was-
look this guy up because I don't want any spoilers for this story.
Well, this story, it wasn't him fighting. I was just giving you a fun little side.
Oh,
okay.
I watched a video.
Well, so Max Pacioretty, he was going along the boards near the benches. Zdeno Chara, again, 6'9", lines up for a hit, and he hits him good. But he hits him right where the glass starts, because like there's no glass where the benches
Oh.
are, because the players get on and get off. However, there's glass all the way around, but there is a hard stop there of glass. Pacioretty's head made contact with that glass stanchion. It's a corner. It's a vertical post. It supports the glass. The hit resulted in Pacioretty sustaining a severe concussion and fractured vertebrae in his neck. He broke his neck.
Uh,
Immediately, everyone knew it happened. This was one of those moments where they stopped. Like the refs were like, okay, that guy's fucked up. Zach, what were you going to say?
I was just groaning.
Okay. You can groan. This is a groaning episode. So he was stretchered off the ice. Oh, Bo just posted the video if you'd like to watch it. He was stretchered off the ice almost immediately. He was taken to the hospital and he started to recover from his injuries. So this incident sparked a huge controversy about player safety and the layout of the rink, because at the time the glass was just a straight up like right angle thing that if you hit your head there, it's going to break some shit. And they actually ended up changing it in the future to now be a rounded pane of glass, which made the game so much more safe. So this is the good part of the story, is that yes, he got injured, but it led to something good.
Oh my God, he really just blasts his face on that thing.
Foul. They extended their nets in the foul because a lot of fans were getting hit by foul balls.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, it took someone getting hurt to do so, but thankfully now, after the fact, less people are getting hurt. So it is now a rounded pane of glass instead of a hard corner, and it has not happened since then. Nobody has been hurt on that thing.
Until I get on the ice.
Demolishing his face.
Was this dude
video.
okay?
Oh my God.
Pacioretty was sidelined, obviously, with the broken neck for the rest of the season. Thankfully, though, Max made a full recovery and was back on the ice the following season. And he would still be playing right now, but he did get injured. He ruptured his Achilles tendon, and he's on the IR. But he's 34, so hockey players play until their 40s. So he should be, I hope, okay to come back and continue his impressive playing career. But until then, right now, he is in the IR. But he did come back, and he looked great.
Well, I'm glad he's not dead and or paralyzed.
Well, it's a good thing. He just had a bad crack in his neck. Like, you ever like crack your neck and you're like, oh my God, that felt so good. That's what he needed. I think he got stronger.
Have you ever seen, there have been a couple of musicians I've seen who've broken or severely injured their necks on stage just from headbanging too hard. Your neck is very fragile. Yeah, Neil Fallon, the vocalist for Clutch, had an internal decapitation because he was headbanging too hard.
What?
His head literally got separated from his neck vertebra. He's totally fine now, though.
How good was that song? Was the song a banger?
Yeah,
he better have been a fucking banger.
They wrote one of their best songs about it, the Decapitation Blues.
What a name! What a name!
That's a great name. So, thoughts on broken necks? How do we feel about broken necks, everybody?
Not a fan.
Ouchie.
Again, if it was me on the ice, it wouldn't have felt the thing. Me outside the ice, ow.
Bo's got such a thick neck. You think George Fisher has got a thick neck? You think Corpse Grinder's got a thick neck? Bo makes him look like a scrawny little bitch man.
Yeah, let's just say no one's choking this neck out.
Zach, when you post the teaser for this episode, post a picture of the Corpse Grinder guy.
I will.
And be like, broken neck, not this guy, or something. I don't know. That guy's neck is fucking crazy. If you've never seen it,
it's
holy
insane.
Shit!
I'll send a picture of my neck.
It's thicker than his head. He looks like a mountain. Like there's a tip of his head, and then it just keeps going like sideways.
Did you know that he's like a master at claw games?
We talked about this on this podcast.
Did we?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember half the shit we say on this podcast. Who are you guys?
We talk a lot. It's hard to remember everything.
We were talking about people who get their aggression out, like metal musicians are really nice. It was on the last hockey episode. You were talking about like why do they fight so much, and they're so nice off the ice, and then on the ice they just get out their aggression. It was quite literally this exact conversation.
Oh my God.
We're circling back, guys.
We're big fans of Cannibal Corpse on this podcast.
True. I do like me some Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah,
so there was actually a player who broke his neck in last year's NHL playoffs as well. It was an illegal hit. Like the Chara hit, that's technically not illegal because it just happened to take place near the stanchion, and it was just a really fucked up scenario. But this last year's playoff, somebody got boarded, which means if you're facing the boards, somebody hits you on the numbers on the back of your jersey and drives your head into the boards, which is completely illegal. And a guy broke his neck at the end of last season, and he is actually playing right now. He came back. Hockey season just started. So that's pretty cool. But that was much more illegal.
And when I saw the hit, what did I say? Clean.
Bo has this thing where on our hockey podcast, we look at hits. And Bo is our safety expert, and he's terrible at it because anytime something happens, Bo goes, "Oh, it's clean hit." There could be a guy on the ice bleeding out, and he's like, "Oh, he's clean. That's good." He's just faking it.
When he broke his neck, I said, "Clean hit."
He's clean hit. He's faking it.
Let him play.
Let him play.
This isn't my hockey. Left my hockey in my old days.
This is my hockey back in my day. So yeah, what do we think about that before I move on to my next and final story?
The
resilience of the human body is truly amazing.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of wild.
Amazing.
Remember, it's like you can break your neck, you can fall out of a plane, all sorts of wild stuff can happen. But if you like fall down and hit the back of your head in a bad way, then it's all done. Like what happened to Bob Saget.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Sagman. We know you're up there making jokes.
You think Bob Saget made it to heaven?
God, no.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
Well, it's comedy heaven,
so.
which is regular people hell.
Yeah. But he's having a great time.
I can imagine Bob Saget down there chumming it up with the devil.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's sitting right beside him. Just be like, "What's up? I'm Bob Saget. I was on Full House."
Sorry for
Did you ever
slandering
listen
your
to
name,
his
Bob
stand-up?
Saget.
It's very blue.
His stand-up is so goddamn raunchy. I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't know anything about him other than Full House, and I was like, "Oh God, this is this guy," and it made it a lot better. Obviously, I love me some shit comedy.
Yeah, I don't know how they even like hired, like how they even hired him for that show.
He's a great
what his
actor.
stand-up is like.
You look at him, and he doesn't look like the fucking like he would
Like
be
a
that
dirtbag.
He looks like a fucking white collar man going to the office every fucking day.
But he's got a mouth on him.
Oh boy, he got a mouth.
All right, let's move on to my final story. This one comes with a trigger warning. I'm going to be talking about some really gross shit. So,
how gross
What's it a
is
trigger
it?
warning for?
I don't want to say, but just know that this almost ended in death a couple
I
times.
think I can handle it. A couple times.
Yes.
I'm excited. Tell me about it.
You shouldn't be. No, it's fine.
I mean, you owe this to me, right? After what I did to you during the dentistry episode.
Should Bo and I leave?
No, you're fine. Just you want me to berate Zach? No. So this
I
is.
could leave. It'd be funny. I'm kind of interested.
Bo's been itching to leave since we started. He keeps saying he's going to quit and retire. This might be his moment.
This is. I said. I declared. It's my last episode. Tired.
Okay, so this is one of the. It is. It is the worst injury to ever happen in hockey. Period.
Oh my god!
I don't think it will ever be beat. It is.
Someone got us.
Truly.
Someone got an upset tummy.
Terrible.
Oh my god!
They got a splinter, and it was so annoying. No. March 22nd, 1989. It's a while
This
ago.
happened in March.
Oh man,
That's weird to think about.
Hockey goes on during March.
Yeah, what's going on in hockey during March? What part of the season is that?
That's
What part of
relatively near the
season is it?
end-ish.
So everyone's tired. That's when a lot of mistakes happen.
They're
vying for
fighting
the
harder
playoffs.
to get to the playoffs. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So March 22nd, 1989, the Buffalo Sabres had a game that night against the St. Louis Blues. The Buffalo Sabres starting goaltender name is Clint Malarchuk.
Now that's a name you can really chew on.
It really is. He was known as the Cowboy goalie because he was from Calgary, Alberta,
Yeah.
and they're really big with like cowboy stuff there. And apparently one of his signing bonuses on a team that he signed for was just horses. Like they didn't give him any money, which is kind of funny. So he was known as the Cowboy goalie. This happened with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first period. Sabres were up 1-0. There was a 2-on-1 rush, which means there's 2 offenders and 1 defender coming down into the zone toward Malarchuk. A guy named Steve Tuttle was charging the net, and the Buffalo
That's a name
defenseman.
you can really chew on.
wait for this name. The Buffalo defenseman, his name is U Krupp, spelled U-W-E Krupp, K-R-U-P-P.
Wow, that's
say
a name you can really chew on.
There it is.
Oh fuck me!
Krupp had it says here, Krupp had no choice but to try and muscle Tuttle. And Krupp was 6'6", so he had no problem pushing this person over. Unfortunately, Tuttle fell. He fell on his back with his skates relatively in the air. Malarchuk, as the goalie, went toward the puck to try and cover it and bent down. Tuttle's right skate became perfectly horizontal with the right side of Clint Malarchuk's neck.
No, see, that's like the worst thing.
That's why I yelled "fuck me." I saw it. I just saw it. Oh, I saw it.
The carbon steel blade sliced clean through his neck, through his jugular vein.
Oh, that's worst case scenario.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if you guys know about the jugular vein.
It's real important. A lot of blood going through there.
Pretty important, yes. Immediately, blood started flying out of this man's neck.
That guy posted it.
You can see with every time that his heart beats, you can see blood flowing out.
That's how it works.
It was a
All right, I'll watch it.
6-inch open wound.
Ugh.
I'll let you watch that. Just watch the
I'm not
the
gonna
first
watch it.
few seconds of that, Zach, and then pause it because I'll go over what happens after.
Okay. Hold
Watch until he stands up and the blood starts flowing out. It's a
on.
lot.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's a man who just had his throat cut.
My brain.
That's number one. That is terrifying for me.
Mm-hmm.
So Malarchuk, he throws his mask off. Immediately, blood just starts flowing. And one can see it because he's wearing a white jersey, but two, ice is also white. It's painted white for hockey. And it is pooling very quickly. Malarchuk was quoted saying, quote, "I thought, well, this is it. This is how I'm going to go."
Yeah.
He also said,
Yeah.
"Then I thought, my mom is watching because she has a satellite dish and she watches all my games. I just wanted to get off the ice as fast as I could because I didn't want her to see me die right there on television."
Oh my god. Oh, I was just reminded of something that I've heard, and it may not apply in this because of the volume, but I heard once that because blood is so warm and ice is so cold, the blood will bounce off of the ice.
Gross.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
I've never thought about that.
I don't know.
Interesting. So there's a Sabres player. It happened right in front of him. His name is Dave Anderchuk. He was quoted in saying, "People were throwing up in the stands. It was traumatic for everyone there."
Mm-hmm.
In just a few seconds, a 3-foot pool of blood formed in the crease. A Discovery Channel episode that reenacted the incident showed it would have taken 2 minutes, 14 seconds for Malarchuk to bleed out completely
See,
since
that's
his
what I'm
jugular
saying.
vein was cut.
Worst case scenario, you get one of your major arteries cut and you just bleed out on the ice before anyone can save you.
Yes, that is awful. However, on a stroke of luck, there's a guy on the bench named Jim Pizzutelli. He was the Buffalo trainer, and I believe the Buffalo trainer, I think he was the backup one, or he wasn't supposed to be there that night, but he just happened to be there that night, either covering for someone or he was just there.
Fan of hockey.
Yeah. He was a former combat engineer in the Vietnam War. I don't know if it's, people believe in religious stuff or whatever, but that man being there saved his life because Jim immediately saw what was happening. He jumped over the boards. He ran over to Malarchuk. He reached inside of Malarchuk's neck and closed the jugular vein with his fingers.
Ugh.
Wow.
He knew exactly what
Wow.
was happening. The guy who wasn't
my
supposed to be
God.
there that night. He applied pressure to it. They got him off of the ice, and he saved his life. So Malarchuk was put on a stretcher. I can't say his last name. Pizzutelli. He stayed with him the whole time, just with his fucking
holding his
fingers in
fucking-
his
oh my
neck,
God.
holding his jugular vein
Wow.
closed. And
Wow.
Name. I'm closing arteries here.
and when they finally got him in the ambulance, another equipment man for the Sabres, his name is Robert Simonok. He squeezed Malarchuk's hand, telling him to hang on, because Malarchuk thought it was all over. Malarchuk asked Rip to call his mother and call the team captain, or chaplain, because I guess they had a chaplain there. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a thing these days. But he said, I figure if it's the time, I need him now. But unfortunately, the chaplain, it was his day off and he wasn't there. It's just kind of fucked up.
Kind of ironic that the guy got his throat slit while he was playing for or against. The Sabres were involved.
He played for the Sabres. So, yeah. He got sabered while being a Sabre. They finally got him to Buffalo General Hospital. Doctors were able to thread 300 stitches into his neck to staunch the wound.
Oh my God.
The cut had stopped just short of the internal carotid artery. Had that been sliced, Malarchuk almost certainly would have not survived, period.
Wow.
Before I tell you the next part of the story, we'll take a break and you guys can discuss how horrible and horrifying this is.
That's gross and
I don't need to
scary.
discuss it. I saw it.
So, Ash,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
pretty
want to watch
nuts.
the video?
I watched it.
You don't have to.
It was
Oh, you
gross.
did. That is terrifying. If you want to watch this video, whoever's listening, look up Clint Malarchuk, Malarchuk
You don't need to see it.
injury. It's the only
Imagining
injury
is
when you
enough.
type in Clint Malarchuk, that's what comes up.
But if you're curious, go ahead.
I mean, it's literally the reason why I always say that hockey is scary is because you're fucking flying around with knives on your feet. What happens if you get cut? This is what happens.
Yeah.
You almost bleed out unless you have a Vietnam combat vet next to you who will
Moral of the
pinch
story is-
pinch your jugular vein closed.
Fucking Baraka ass feet.
Nice reference.
Thank you.
What's the moral of the story, Bo?
Always keep Vietnam vets with you.
Wear an armored neck piece when you play hockey.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
like
Everyone
some-
needs to be wearing gorgets.
Yeah, all the time.
So this actually is not the first time that this happened, though. It did happen later on in the 2000s to a guy named Richard Zednick. He got cut, but he was a skater, and he immediately knew what happened, and he skated off the ice as quick as humanly possible, and he was
What did he
okay
get
as
cut
well. Same thing, jugular.
Oh my god.
So what's the last name again?
Zednick, Zednik.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's ironic.
Zednick. No, yeah, but he skated off the ice, and everyone knew he was cut, but they didn't know to the extent of it, and he got taken care of really quickly. Again, it was still horrifying, but he ended up being okay as well.
I hope now the NFL has EMTs and paramedics on site, and they specifically get training in how to deal with cuts like that.
The NFL probably not, but the NHL,
usually don't get cut in
Oh, did I
hockey.
say NFL?
Usually don't get cut in.
You said NFL, yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, there's every bit of trainers and medical staff on the bench 24/7.
Get Jim to give him a seminar on how to do that.
Even in beer league, there's people get hurt in beer league where I play all the time, and there's an ambulance. I swear they just hang out around the corner and just wait for calls because they usually get called like once a week, and when they do call them, they're there in like a second.
Honestly,
I
they
think
probably
they just know
do.
that people are going to get hurt.
From what I know about how
Yeah.
ambulances work, they just kind of post up somewhere and wait for calls. So if they know calls are going to come from there, they probably just go around the corner and get a burrito and wait.
That's funny. So Clint Malarchuk, yeah, he got 300 stitches. It was a 6-inch long gash along his neck. Now, some would think, hey man, you just had your jugular cut. You should take some time off. But hockey players are stupid. The very next day,
No.
Clint Malarchuk sat for a press conference in the hospital saying he'd hope to get back in net as soon as possible. He was quoted saying, "When you get knocked off the horse, you get back on."
No.
2 days after the accident, Malarchuk walked back into the stadium with Pizzatelli, the guy who saved his life, right back into the same crease. And 10 days later, Malarchuk was in the same crease, but playing hockey against the Quebec Nordiques.
No.
10 days.
Wow.
No.
Insane.
No.
Call it toughness, call it stupidity, call it what you will.
That's not even
Hockey
enough time
players-
for your stitches to heal.
Are a different breed. It really is not.
That's irresponsible. They should not have let him play.
Well, so here's where the story takes another fucked up turn. And trigger warning, again, people don't like hardships and PTSD and things like that.
It happened again.
Malarchuk said, quote, "I thought I could just go on like nothing ever happened because that's who I was, the cowboy goalie, the tough guy." And he said, "I thought I could handle anything that came my way." Not quite, it turned out. Here's where the story takes a little bit of a brutal turn. He went through a lot with this. After that, he played in the NHL for 4 more years, which is really cool. But after his playing career, he suffered from extreme PTSD, extreme alcoholism, and he would have constant nightmares every single night because of this incident.
Maybe he shouldn't have been playing 10 days after he had a near-death experience and a traumatic experience, and he should have taken a little time to recover and gotten some therapy and let his stitches heal. And maybe you shouldn't just let people go back to doing stupid shit after they almost die.
See, that's the today reasoning, and I appreciate that because
people cope
self-care
different
is
ways.
self-care is very important. Like we've learned that in the last 20 years, and I really appreciate that. Let yourself heal, not only physically but mentally. But back in 1989, they'd be like, "Here's a cigarette, get back out there,"
Rub some dirt on it, you pussy.
Yeah, call people a Nancy boy and shame them into keep going. Like that's just how it was
Nice
back then.
dress lady.
And then wonder why they jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go into the details too much because they are kind of extremely fucked up. But in 2008, he did attempt to take his own life with a rifle after a period of stress and domestic problems. Initially, it was described as a hunting accident, but both Malarchuk and his wife later confirmed it was a suicide attempt. And it did take him a while to recover and to get back on his feet from that incident. It had to do with alcoholism, the meds that he was on, and just the current state of mind. It was just a cocktail of shit, and it was horrible. However, later on, Malarchuk released an autobiography called The Crazy Game in November 2014. And in the United States, it says the book was published with the title of A Matter of Inches, How I Survived in the Crease and Beyond. And it was made into a documentary, apparently, which I have not watched.
I hope he's doing better now.
Following its release, Clint and Joni Malarchuk were public speakers about topics covered in the book, such as obsessive-compulsive disorder, support for alcoholics in recovery, suicide prevention, and physiological trauma. And Malarchuk was a guest speaker at a Canadian Mental Health Association, at the International OCD Foundation Conference, and a bunch of other places. And now Malarchuk and his wife travel and engage in a number of league-related incident and independent events having to do with mental health, OCD, depression, and retired athletes. So a lot of bad, but now he's doing a lot of good based on his experiences. Plus,
I'm glad that he's doing better.
He's doing better, thankfully. And now goalies, if you look at goalies now, they actually have a little piece of plastic that hangs down below their chin to protect them not only from pucks, but also that from happening.
See, they are all wearing corsets now.
Good.
Something terrible happened, but something good happened from that. We've learned and we've grown. So that's the story of Clint Malarchuk, how he almost died on the ice, how he was saved by a Vietnam veteran. He went through some bad shit, but now he's doing good things, and we're all the better for it.
Can you ever really recover from having a man's hand in your neck holding your blood in your body?
I don't know. That takes a lot of therapy, I think. That would take me a lot of therapy. Like, I would have to stop for a while and reassess some shit.
Yeah.
So again, sorry for bumming you guys out for a little bit, but
yeah, I'm sad. I'm retiring. What a bummer episode for me to retire on.
From broken legs and finishing shifts to broken necks and rule changes to almost getting your head lopped off by
retiring,
a knife on your foot, to Bo retiring.
Sorry.
Are we supposed to talk about our favorite parts of the episode?
I would love to talk about that. Hey, Bo.
My favorite part of the episode.
Bo, what was your favorite part of the episode? What did you learn?
What I learned?
I mean, what's your favorite part? What's your favorite part?
My favorite part is when we were talking about me ice skating.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
That was probably like the highlight. Everything else was low life. Like, they're all flightless.
My favorite part was learning that hockey players call their time on the ice shifts.
Out of everything. I love that that's your favorite.
My favorite is all of the safety regulations that were put into place after
I like
these
that
horrible
too.
injuries.
Yeah,
I still play hockey, and I like safety. I like not being hurt. So
I'm glad that each time they were proactive about making good changes to save people's lives and their
those
necks.
guys could no longer walk, so I could run.
Remember, hockey peelers are people.
Hockey peelers.
Hockey peelers
are definitely people too.
Let's make fun of the guy who can't speak well. Yeah. shame on you people.
And that's my episode.
Hockey players are peelers too.
Hockey peelers.
Hockey peelers are players.
Are peelers, please.
Yeah, I'm so glad I fucking retired.
That's my episode. Again, apologies for the gory retelling of these things, but shit happens.
Yeah, I think that it's important information to know. And also, it was gross, and also I was into it. And thank you for telling these stories.
People love some gross shit. That's one thing I do know.
And thank you for listening. I
Except
hope
when it's
that
about
you
teeth.
enjoyed this very hockey pod from a very hockey man.
Me.
If you like this episode and you want to listen to more, they're not all this gross, I promise. You can follow us, Get Dumped On Pod on Instagram.
Except the dentist episode.
You can send us an email at getdumpedonpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a message. Tell us really anything. We're pretty open on that front in terms of what you want to say. Just tell us your thoughts. We love to hear them. That's what this podcast is, and we want to hear yours. Yeah.
I can use a pen pal. Email me, please.
Yeah. Bo needs
you want to
pen
give out
pal.
your personal email, Bo?
No. It's just, I'll communicate through the
Bo
podcast.
at bo.bo.
Bo.
And I hope wherever you are, you're having a great day. Okay,
And
thanks,
staying
bye.
safe.
Oh, stay
Keep
safe.
on dumping
Don't
in
let-
the free world.
Don't let a knife strapped to someone's foot cut you on the throat because it's bad.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Everyone
Wear neck
watch your
protection
jugglers.
wherever you go.
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college and were able to sidestep mountains of unnecessary debt. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Well, grab your friends. Let's listen together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
See you later. Wear that helmet. Always wear a helmet, regardless of what you're
one
doing.
thing I learned: helmets saves lives. Costs
Yeah.
more than they save lives, really. Wait, that's terrible.
And doctors.
Fuck
Yeah.
doctors, man.
No, doctors are good.